Chapter 15 of our text deals with special occasion speeches. So somewhere along the line in your life, you'll be asked to give a toast, a eulogy, some type of special occasion speech, a speech where you introduce someone else. And there are a number of different types of special occasion speeches. So the text differentiates these, and they are speeches of introduction, speeches of presentation, speeches of acceptance, commemorative speeches, keynote speeches, after dinner speeches, and then the very last segment is kind of a handy inclusion, some outlines for other special occasion speeches. So take a look at it. It's one of those things that you don't know when you will need it, but somewhere along the line you will need some advice on how to prepare a special occasion speech. So generally, here are 7 guidelines for special occasion speech. The first one is make sure that your speech meets the expectations. You've been invited for a purpose, for a reason, for this particular occasion, this particular setting. So the words that you choose should mark the occasion, and it should remind people of the event that they are commemorating. Even if you are sure that everyone realizes the reason for your speech, explain it anyway, okay? Second, tailor your remark to the audience and occasion. So make sure it fits to this specific context in terms of the people involved. And this ties into the third one. Use personal anecdotes and appropriate humor. The more you say about the people that are gathered together and the occasion, the more intimate and fitting your presentation will become. Avoid cliches like, we are gathered here, without any further ado. Those are just useless, meaningless words at this point. Be aware that you are speaking for others as well. So although your words are your own and you've crafted them, your purpose is to echo the sentiment of all those who are gathered, and especially those who've asked you to speak. So it's acceptable to make we statements when you reference events and experience that you, as the speaker, and the audience share. Be sincere but humble, remembering that your audience is aware of your accomplishments, so you don't need to brag about it. Be accurate. Avoid embarrassing yourself with factual mistakes. Make sure that you have all of the information at hand, especially if you're introducing someone else. The next segment deals with speeches of introduction. A speech of introduction introduces the person who will give an important address. So when you deliver this type of presentation, think of yourself as the conduit through which the audience learns something about the speaker. This is important because your introduction has the potential to increase and develop the speaker's credibility. Some guidelines for speeches of introduction include set the tone and be brief but personal. Remember, you're not giving the main address, you're just introducing the speaker. So it should be brief, personal, and kind of set the tone of the speech to follow. Create realistic expectations for the speaker. Kind of identify what you hope the audience will hear and experience without creating a bar too high for anyone to clear. So don't promise too much that the speaker won't be able to meet. Avoid summarizing the speaker's intended remarks. Your job is to provide kind of an enticement to listen, not a summary of remarks that are going to come. So your job is to tease a message, and that means provide your audience with a hint of what is to come by mentioning something specific that they will want to learn from the speaker. Recognize the potential for spontaneity. You might not know who's in the audience, and you might look out and see someone that is significant, and so be open to altering your introduction for events that transpire in front of you, especially if there's some guests that need to be mentioned. The next section deals with speeches of presentation. A speech of presentation is delivered as part of a ceremony to recognize an individual or group chosen for special honors. Here are some guidelines for speeches of presentation. Again, state the importance of the award. Explain the selection process. How was this person selected? What are the criteria for selecting this individual? And that certainly helps to establish the significance of the award. Note the honorees' qualifications and be brief. Choose your words with care so that the power of your message is not diminished by unnecessary detail. Speeches of acceptance. It's a speech given to express gratitude for an award. It's personal, gracious, humble, sincere. Most speakers begin with something like, I'm genuinely grateful for this award, and I want to express my sincere thanks to everyone here. Some guidelines for speeches of acceptance include restate the importance of the award, be sincere. So you thank the person, the group, or organization bestowing or giving the award. And then you also recognize the people who've helped you gain this award. Describe how you reached this point of achievement. The audience wants to know that you worked for this award, that you deserve it, but again, that you're gracious and humble. Use anecdotes. Select with care the events that you want to mention in order to avoid an endless chronology of your life. Tell us what you've done. Commemorative speeches is an inspirational message designed to stir the emotions. These speeches make listeners reflect on the message through the use of rich language that lifts them to a higher emotional plane. That's a commemorative speech. Toasts, on the other hand, are brief messages of goodwill and congratulations. And here you want to prepare a short inspirational message. Memorize it. You really don't have time to look at notes. Choose words with care that address the occasion and the audience. And be positive. And again, as always, avoid cliches. Commencement speeches. It's rare, but you might be asked to address a group of graduating seniors. A brief expression of honor, giving thanks for the invitation to speak, would be good. Make tribute to the college as a place of excellence. Offer counsel to the graduating members of the audience. Impart some memorable message that will help them on their way as they start out. And conclude on a congratulatory note by telling the audience that their future has arrived. Eulogies are difficult because they involve paying tribute to a family member, a friend, a colleague, or community member who has died. So a eulogy usually focuses on universal themes such as life, death, the preciousness and fragility of life, the importance of family and friends, at times of great loss, the continuity of life. Be sure to avoid impersonal cliches. Some guidelines for eulogies. Acknowledge the loss and refer to the occasion. Your first few words must be addressed to the family and significant others of the deceased. Talk directly to them, acknowledge them by name. Celebrate life rather than focusing on loss. Certainly, it's appropriate to acknowledge shared feelings of sadness and even anger. The eulogy should focus on the unique gifts and lasting legacy of the person that has passed away. Use anecdotes, quotes, and even humor. Nothing is better than a good story to celebrate the spirit of the deceased. Control your emotions. Be sincere and brief. Keynote speeches. A keynote speaker is the featured speaker at an event. Again, remember that your speech sets the tone for the event, as we've said. The keynote speaker is there to excite people, to stimulate thought and action. Select your topic and language after analyzing the audience and occasion, what we've always said about speeches. And remember, time is still a factor. The purpose of an after-dinner speech is to entertain, often with humor, although usually it conveys a thoughtful message. And then the textbook at the very end has some outlines for other special occasion speeches. Be sure to look at them.